Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing a handy regulator from Laurent Ferrier of Geneva, the ultimate rival to the independent FP Journe as well as the superpower Patek Philippe. Laurent Ferrier occupies an interesting place in the pantheon of independence and high horology, always willing to do things differently in terms of shapes, dial designs, and movement architecture. And you can see this is the Galet Square Regulateur, doing things distinctly different of dial, case, and movement. A 2018 launch as the Galet Square Regulateur. The timepiece features 3 displays, one for seconds, one for minutes, and one for hours. It's a 41mm red gold case that nevertheless features a lot of the profiling of the pebble-inspired Galet round case. It's reasonably slim too, only 11.4 millimeters thick. I'll go over why that's pretty thin, all things considered, in a moment. And lug to lug, a nicely constrained 47.3 millimeters with a spacing of 20 millimeters between the lugs. If you wish to accessorize, you'll have a world of options in that particular lug spacing. Now, the strap itself is fairly thin. You'll appreciate that it does feature a folded edge construction, dark, large rectangular scale alligator leather in brown with a monotone stitch, and a simple but stylish Laurent Ferrier custom pin buckle. I appreciate the fact that it features satin finish on the underside and polish on the top side. They even differentially finished it, and you'll also note that the stanchions are actually below the bridge, so when this strap is buckled on your wrist, the strap actually sits inside the buckle rather than underneath it, so it doesn't stack up. Simple, but I love the attention to detail, just like I love the suede calfskin on the underside. Wonderfully soft against the wrist and a real pleasure. I'm giving you a preview of the treat to come. That's the movement. Let's talk quickly about the dial in the case. Now, the timepiece features a Laurent Ferrier Galet case, but Galet Square. This is a little bit more sporting, and some people say they see shades of the Rodiomir 1940 in here from Panerai, and I'm not going to disagree. It's also nicely layered, with the case back stepped inward, so the watch looks a lot thinner when it's actually on the wrist. Slightly countersunken recessed onion-style crown, and you have straight lugs that have a little bit of a pastille curvature or a teardrop profile on the underside, plus a stepped bezel that eases the transition from the flank of the case up and over for your shirt sleeve. Now, the dial, let's talk about the dial. It's a little bit hard to see because of the curvature of the sapphire in my light box, but it is a matte brown. It is a dark brown that's almost a perfect match for the leather of the strap, and it's not vertically satin grained, and it's not a sunburst. It is a matte or opaline finish. You can see Regulateur in a gilt style golden print, counterbalanced by a white on brown Laurent Ferrier logo, slightly dished and countersunk, hour and constant seconds registers with a railroad track outboard and the signature Laurent Ferrier assegai or spear-shaped hand taking up station at center with a lancet-style counterweighted seconds hand at 6 o'clock for seconds and a leaf or foy-style hand at 12 o'clock for the hours. So you actually have 3 different hand styles, all in red gold. Okay, because this is not a cambered sapphire, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier for me to show you the movement, and there is much to share. Let me grab my handy-dandy JLC glove polishing cloth and jump into the movement. This is Laurent Ferrier's caliber 228.01. You can see that it features 35 joules, chronometer beating 6 positions of adjustment, so there's no place for deviation to hide. Chronometer is generally adjusted to 5 positions. This watch adjusted to 6. It uses a jeweled staff micro-rotor with a Paul reversing mechanism, so it is much smoother than bearing-borne winding systems. It's completely silent and you can't feel it wobble, but you'll appreciate that there is a guilloche rose lathe pattern cut into the 22 karat winding mass. So this is the definition of smooth. It energizes a 3-day power reserve, and the power flows to a balance which is both free sprung for a precise regulation and graced with an overcoil hairspring for excellent timekeeping in any orientation with respect to gravity, helping that watch to earn its stripes in 6 positions. All this beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and the timepiece featuring a double direct impulse escapement system. It's not exactly the Breguet natural escapement, but it's inspired by it, and critically, it's viable in a wristwatch format, whereas the Breguet system is not. The advantage is is that there's less parasitic loss in the transmission of power from the barrel down to the balance itself. Two wheels, both of Leica-etched nickel phosphorus, directly impulsing the balance, improving the power reserve as well as the long-term chronometric precision due to less parasitic losses. Now, the balance beating away at 3 Hz also sits over a silicon locking mechanism that alternately locks those two nickel phosphorus escape wheels, the whole thing operating unlubricated. Let's talk about finish. Lots. You can see that the Côte de Genève are the real deal, with a crest that is light on one side and dark on the other. You know stamped Côte de Genève because they're one monotone all the way across. Appreciate the black polish of every screw head, and the slots are chamfered, by the way, as well as the cap of the transfer system for the ratchet wheel, and the timepiece featuring a black polished bridge for the rotor as well as a black polished skeletonized bridge for the balance. Appreciate the fact that not only is it black polished, but it contains 4 interior angles. There's a 5th one at the center over the center wheel, and if you look at the wheel, yes, its spokes are chamfered. The attention to detail, including the micro-perlage on the base plate, is second to none. The anglage is mirrored, and the same rounded mirror finish is applied to every jewel and screw countersink. Live the dream on the Watchbox.